Hi, hello, welcome back to another episode of Musings podcast. I'm your host Chaguo Mildred, and I'm so happy that you've joined me on another Wednesday for another amazing episode. Before I start today's episode, I'm going to give a disclaimer again because my neighbors are awake, and these are not like the ones who are immediate. I think it's a floor above me or a floor below me because they're making so much noise. I don't understand what they're doing. They were running up and down the stairs. Now this lady was shouting. I don't know if you can hear it through the recording, but I'll have to record, while they're talking because it's already past midnight. And because I've been baking, like my days have been very busy because I'm these shows to bring them out, and then also like doing the baking. So I'm pretty busy. And like today, I've just like done. I baked and then I did thorough cleaning in my house and all of these things. So I'm sort of like really tired, and I know I'm going to get sleepy very soon. So I have to record right now. Otherwise, I won't be able to do it today. I'll have to postpone until tomorrow. And I feel like between Saturday and Sunday, I need to find an evening where I don't have to do anything like editing or anything. So because I'm recording today and today is Friday, okay, we're already on Saturday, but yeah, it's like recording on Friday night. Tomorrow after baking, I'll have to edit, or while baking, while it's cooking and stuff, I'll have to be editing and then put them up by evening so that at least on Sunday, the only thing I can do is bake. And then after that, I can just, take a good shower and relax. Maybe that will be like my evening off or something, because I have to do something for myself. I have to relax a little bit. I can't, it has been a tiring week, but I'm grateful to God because before, all that was keeping me busy was the recording and editing. And that's when I was recording and editing. When I had already recorded and edited and put it out and I didn't have Wi-Fi, I would just wake up and do nothing. So I'm grateful to God that now at least I'm busy. I get tired because I've actually been doing something. I go up and down the stairs every single day nowadays, which is forced exercise, which I'm grateful for, because before I was so like lazy to go up and down those stairs. Like if I didn't have to go to the shops, then I wouldn't go out even outside sometimes. I wouldn't even open my door. So I'm super grateful that now I have to go up and down those stairs every single day. So if you do not know, or if you haven't heard yet, I started a little business. I'm baking cookies and muffins and cupcakes and brownies and stuff like that, pound cake if you want. So if you're interested, please tell me on my DM on Mimi's Mrs. Podcast. That's on Instagram, and we can be able to communicate there, and I'll be able to make it for you. Or if you have my number, call me, text me, and tell me what you want. We can talk about it and the pricing, and yeah, we'll move forward with that. So on today's episode, I'm going to be giving a review of a Kenyan movie called Chaguo. Chaguo is a 2022 Kenyan movie written by Ravi Kamalka, Veronica Mbaya, Vincent Mbaya, and Kimani Waweru. The directors are Ravi Kamalka and Vincent Mbaya. Hope I'm saying Ravi's second name properly because, the spellings for these names, the pronunciation is kind of hard. The cast members include Nick Kwach, he plays Mugeni, Nyokabi Masharia plays Wendo, Ian Bugwa plays Tabia, Tracy Amadi plays the news anchor, Abel Amunga plays Njama, Sybil Colette plays Rahab, Lawrence Kimani plays Matata, Irene Kariuki plays Doris, Caroline Midimo plays Lomusi, Stephanie Mushiri plays Delphine, Lucy Muthi plays Cynthia, Florence Nuta plays Amma, Helen Joki plays the aunt, Maria Nungo plays Hannah, Brian Ogola plays Koa, amongst other cast members. The list goes on and on and on and on. There are so many people in this movie, but I'm not going to mention all of them because honestly, there's so many. But it was a great cast. That one I'll give it to them. So, if you like spoilers like me, I'd urge you to continue with this. If you do not like spoilers, please leave, go to Netflix, watch the movie Chaguo, and then come back and tell me if you agree with me or if you do not, because this is your official spoiler alert. The movie is a political movie. I don't usually like such, but because it's Kenyan, I had to support. It came out in 2022 and I didn't watch it. So you can understand why. I mean, it has Nick Quach, who I really like and really admire, but then I didn't watch it. And it also has Nyokabi Masharia, and I love that babe because, yo, she's amazing. But then I didn't watch it back then because, again, it's political. But today I was like, let me just watch it because I had put it on my list of the movies to watch in October. So I was like, let me just watch it and see, how it is. And it was interesting. It's just that I think they fell short of what they were trying to portray, really. But yeah, we'll get to that. So the movie follows these two lovebirds. That's Wendo, played by Nyokabi Masharia, and Mugeni, played by Nick Quach. So there are two people from two different tribes in Kenya. Or did they even say in Kenya? I think they just say somewhere in Saharan Africa or something like that. So, like, it's somewhere in Africa. So there are these two tribes who are, like, they've been ruling the country since its independence. And, one of them, like, one leader takes this time and the other group takes the other time. And they've been clashing since. And so both of them come from these two different tribes. They had funny names. I don't remember what they were, but they had some funny names, 4-letter words for each of the two tribes. And so, but they're in love and they want to get married. So it starts with them, they're in bed, the alarm rings, and he wakes up. Both of them actually wake up, but she's like, go back to sleep, I'll wake you up. They wake up 2 hours later because it was at 6. Yeah, they wake up 2 hours later, it's 8. Mugeni has a housekeeper who comes during the day, like a house manager, who a day bag. So she comes in and she's the one who actually knocks on the door for them to wake up. So apparently it was after a party they had the previous night, an engagement party that they had for themselves. And so they were tired and, of course, hungover and stuff. But then they wake up, they get ready, and they leave and they go to the various offices. We find out that Wendell works for a politician, that is Koa. He's vying for a political seat in that area to be the next, I don't know what it was, but yeah, he wants to run the town. And that is against the group or the party that Mugeni's family supports. So him, Koa, doesn't support any tribal group. He's just like an independent guy. And so he's not from Wendo's tribe and he's also not from Mugeni's side tribe. And so he is just, independent, let's say. And so she works for him because he wants real change. He doesn't want to rule the place. It was called Jipange constituency. He doesn't want to lead Jipange constituency like through tribal lenses and stuff like that. So he wants to do better. And so that's why Wendell works for him. She is a PR specialist. So the company she works for is representing him, Koa. And so, and Mugeni's family, his dad is Tabia, that is played by Ian Bogo. So is it Tabia? Because it's in Swahili, it's read as Tabia. But so that's why I'm not sure if I should say Tabia or Tabia. Like, I don't know. Should I read it in English or should I read it in Swahili? So I don't know. But yeah, so there are two very different tribes. And so she goes and starts her job. He works for an IT company. They specialize in malware and stuff like that, like anything to do with IT. And so he's at work, she's at work, and while they're there, of course, this guy, the guy vying for the seat is Mugeni's uncle, Njama. I mean, the names that these people were given, they just tell you what these people are all about. So Njama is a terrible person. Him and his tribe has been leading the constituency with fear and all of these things. Like, they are very, very bad people. So they send people to beat people up. They do, basically, you see the things that are happening in Kenya right now. That is what Njama does, him and his party and his family. So the money they have in their family is shifty. Like, it's not legitimate money because the way they got it is not legitimate. And so they still want to continue governing as the family. That family is the one that wants to continue governing that constituency, and they want all the votes and stuff. And so they use scare tactics. They send people to beat other people from the other tribe and stuff. And so while Koa was trying to, do his campaign in that area, his Njama sends people to come and beat them up. And so Wendo's coat is torn while they are trying to escape. And that evening, they were supposed to be having dinner for the families to meet. Now, Wendo's family and Mugeni's family. I think they'd met before, but this was like a proper engagement party. So, with everybody from the family. The one they had the previous night was just for them and their friends, I think. And so that evening comes and they're there, all of them. The families are coming through, and there's tension in the air because they're not from the same tribe and there's going to be some sort of clash between them. So they all meet, they go into the party, and then just as they sit down, situations occur. Of course, Njama says something, attacking Koa, and they're like, you cannot be working. They tell Wendo she cannot be working for Koa, who is like an enemy to Mugeni's family. And so because of that, people start arguing and everybody leaves, actually. And so the two guys, that is Wendo and Mugeni, are left there wondering what's supposed to happen. They go, they drive, Mugeni drives Wendo home. But on the way, he's upset with her because why couldn't she just work for any other farm? Why is she working for, his uncle's opponent and stuff? And I was like, yo, babe, relax, okay? You don't do that. Like, you can't dictate what your future wife is going to be doing. You can dictate her job because it's just work. Like you see how on Scandal, Olivia Pope was neither a Republican or a Democrat. She was, she was Switzerland in that situation. So that way she could work with either the Democrats or the Republicans because all she was doing was chasing the bag. So she could work with either of the groups. She never chose. So I was like, yeah, Wendo should be allowed to work with whomever she wants to work with because it does not affect the relationship in any way. But in this case, it's the tribal thing that is mostly affecting everybody. And so while they were trying to move past, this situation, he says that in the car and she's upset with him. When he drops her off, she doesn't even look back to say anything. She just goes away. And so they have this squabble and he's stressed, she's stressed. But anyway, they talk about it, blah, 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 in the future, and they meet up and they talk because they're like, we cannot let what happened affect our future. And so they're like, okay, we are going to talk back to our families again and see what happens. So both of them go back to their homes. She goes back to her parents and she's like, I need to talk to you guys. He goes to his parents and tells them that he needs to talk to them. The uncle shows up. That Njama guy didn't like him. I know he's Ruth Matete's dad. I have the characters that he usually takes in movies, I just never liked them. But anyway, so he's there and he talks to the parents, to Mugeni's parents, and it's like, you know what? Because this guy Koa is running on a tribeless, sort of thing, why can't we let the kids get married? Because we are from two opposing tribes, and if we allow them to get married and we make it so public and everything, people are going to see that we are not tribal and they are going to vote for us. And so because of that, they force him to get married to her in 15 days, before the elections, which when we were starting the movie, they were like, I think 36 days away. And so they had like 15 days to prepare for that wedding or something like that. Or even less, I don't know. But they wanted it to be quick because they wanted it to be before the elections so that it could win them some votes. And so they tell this to him, to Mugeni, and he accepted. And I was like, yo. So he goes and talks to her because her parents said no. They were like, no, those people are from a different tribe. And it's not even about that. Don't even work for that Koa guy. Because even if he's lived in this area, he's not from our tribe. And when he goes in there, he'll do nothing for us. Like the tribal nonsense that happens during elections in Kenya. Like, how they usually speak. So that's what was happening. And so she goes like, no, he's not like that. He's a kid from this area. He knows what we want. He knows what we need. Blah, blah, blah. The parents were like, no, you're not working for him and also not marrying him. So she leaves, of course, and goes back to his place, to Mugeni's home. And he comes home and is like, okay, my parents said yes, but we have to get married before the elections. He's like, what? What's the catch? She's like, well, because of that, I have to work for my uncle. Because actually, I don't think he actually told her. I think the next day while she was at work, she saw his company. Yeah, there's another lady she was working with. The lady came and told her, like, I think that is Kabi. They were working together. Kabi tells her that, come and see this, and she sees that it's the fiance's company, Mugeni's company, that is supporting Njama. And the way they got him to do that is because, yeah, one, if he wants the wedding, and two, like, your uncle is the one who gave you the money to start up that company, so you have to do this for him. And so I was upset with him for a while, because I was like, is he really going to be working against his fiance for somebody that he knows is truly cruel and his politics are just off? But little by little, like, the more the movie went on, you could see that no, he wasn't really on his uncle's side or his family's side, because he would root silently for Wendell, because they had an argument one time, because Wendell and Koa were really touchy. I know she was like, I was just reassuring him and stuff like that, but there's even a point where he was like, because his wife was late, like the wife had passed on, and so there's a point he even went like, you know, you remind me so much of my wife, like you are as strong as her, blah blah blah, and she had to pull away for a little bit, because yeah, that was a little bit intense. And I was like, yeah, I see what Mugeni was saying. And when he went to his friend to ask him for advice, sometimes friends are the ones who usually let you down. This friend was like, yeah, maybe he wants to make her like his missus, and she's from a lower class, she knows how to look for people with money, blah blah blah, and to climb the ladder. I don't know, he said some nonsensical things, and I felt like he agreed, because he went home, they drank, and then he went home and he said something offensive to her. Like, just tell me, have you and him done something that you shouldn't, stuff like that. Like, it was just crazy. And so she left and she was upset. And for the minute there, they weren't talking. So he was like, I'm going to make sure my uncle wins this thing. And when he said that, I was like, hey, Nani, he's a bad person. Don't tell me you are like him. But slowly, as you continue seeing the movie, you realize that he's not on his uncle's side. He's actually rooting for her. But they meet again and they forgive each other. They remind themselves where they met and how they fell in love, blah, blah, blah. And they kiss. And so she goes and quits the job, because they had this what is it called, a debate, and he had just shown people like his money, where he, like, all the money that he has and stuff like that. And so Njama's campaign team, of course, they made a thing where they say that one of the properties that while he was revealing his fortune, he left out a part where there's this house where he keeps women as a brothel. And they're there out of their, not because they want to be there, but they're being forced to be there. And he's selling them stuff like that. But it happened that it was a safe house for women who had run away from abusive relationships. And so he couldn't talk about it on air. He had to leave the debate before answering anything, because in his mind he wanted to go and keep the women safe, because now they had revealed where the location of the house is, and they had shown the women on screen. And so the people who had battered them, of course, they knew now where the women were. They could go and get them and stuff. So he had to go and take care of that. So Mugeni went back to the campaign headquarters and he put some malware in the computers, blah, blah, blah. And he got the evidence that he needed, that it was his uncle and his campaign manager, I think, who are the ones who are behind that entire thing. And so he calls her, he goes to Wendo's parents' place, because that's where she was living, and he shouts to talk to her. She eventually accepts, and he tells her, like, this is what happened, he's not guilty, blah blah blah. And so the next day she goes to work, she gives the evidence to Koa, and she's like, I'm quitting, because this working for you is putting a strain between me and my future husband, and I can't have that, and even my family as well. So she goes back home, and she tells him that, yeah, I quit, I'm no longer working for him and stuff like that. So it's time for their pre-wedding, because this happened like on a Saturday and the wedding was coming like soon. So they go for the pre-wedding, and so while they are there, the party again, another beautiful, they've spent a lot of money. But this man, because he was humiliated, that is Njama, after that video came out, because Koa's group released it. They were like, this is what happened. And he explained that that was a safe house for battered women, and I had to go and make sure they were safe because their location was revealed and stuff. And so after that, Nani Njama was humiliated, and people sort of saw the kind of person that he was, because it was recorded. He was there saying that, it cannot be traced back to us, blah, 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 blah. So they're at the party, and this Njama guy decides to show, there's this intern who showed, who took a photo of Wendo giving the evidence to Koa. They were holding hands and stuff. And so he goes like, you see, this is the person who's getting married to our family. She's the one who showed this, who gave the evidence, blah, blah, blah. Like, it was stupid, because what were you expecting? If you're doing something wrong, people are going to go against you. Like, do something good and see just how good people are going to be to you. It was just a stupid thing that he was doing. But yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, it didn't match up to what they were trying to really do. But you can get the gist of it. So he does that, and then the two, that is Wendo and Mugeni, they are like, no, we're not going to play this game. So Mugeni actually says that Wendo stands up, and she goes like, yeah, I'm the one who gave the evidence to Koa because what you're doing is wrong. And Mugeni stands up and goes like, I'm the one who gave the evidence to Wendo because you're not fit to be a leader in this constituency anymore. Like, just leave and stuff like that. And they were like, we're still going to have a wedding, and all of you are invited. If you want to show up, show up. If you don't want to show up, it's okay. It doesn't change a thing. And so they leave. And I think that was the last part they were together, all of them, because the next part was now, well, actually, they go back to Koa's campaign headquarters, and they join the campaign, and they're shown, they get a lot of support. They help them gain support, and Koa wins. Matthew Koa, he wins the election, and everybody's celebrating, and everybody is happy and stuff like that. I don't think they showed Njama again, but after that, it was them, Wendo in a wedding dress and Mugeni hugging her from behind. And they were slowly dancing, because the first time they met, she was dancing, and he admired her and everything. Like, yeah, so that's why it ends. And it was a nice movie. It had so many people, because it was political and stuff, you know how it goes. But yeah, it was nice. I'm just not sure, like, I get where they were going. You can understand, like, when you watch, you understand. And if you understand Kenyan politics, you'll understand what they were trying to do. I just feel like that situation was solved so easily, and they could have done a little bit more with it, considering the movie is 1 hour 40 minutes. I feel like a lot more could have been done, a lot more could have been said. But anyway, it was still fine. As I said, like, the characters were amazing. All of them. I don't feel like, do I remember any character being because every character, well, the characters who you see now mostly on the Kenyan scene, movie scene, and everything, television shows, they were there back then. Like, I saw this guy from Volume. I've forgotten his name, but I saw him in that, and he looked younger. And it's funny because a volume came out, was it last year? And that was just like a year later, but maybe the filming was done a little bit early, I don't know. But yeah, they were all there. Like, these guys were just amazing. It's an amazing, amazing movie. Go and watch it on Netflix. The acting, as I've said, was good. The direction was good. Cinematography was good. The music, do I remember any music from that movie? I don't remember any music from that movie. Honestly, even the time they were dancing, I don't think they played music. I think it was instrumental. Whenever there was music, I don't know. Honestly, I've forgotten. I don't remember hearing any music. And if there was, it wasn't catchy. That's why I don't remember it. Overall, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Or, yeah, because it wasn't all that. I love Nick. Because, yeah, Nick, he's a handsome guy. And I've never, like, really had a crush on him. because I know he's taken. But in this movie, there's parts where he was flirting and stuff, and I was looking in his eyes and I was like, yo, I even laughed at some point at myself. I was like, do not go there. Because he acts with Crony Productions. He's a member of Crony Productions, and I love that group, like, Sorrow, him, Victor, and all of these other guys. I love all of them, and I don't want to take my mind there, but he's a very, very handsome guy. I remember back in the day just looking at him and going like, okay, and then I realized that he's taken, and I was like, yeah, you have to take a sit back. Stop crushing on people that are taken. And I've never had a crush on him. But today watching that movie, I was like, Baba. He looks really, really good. So yeah, go and watch the movie. I don't want to talk so much about it. As I said, it's political, and I don't like political things. In this era that we're living in Kenya at the moment, we have to know anything political that is happening, because otherwise tutajipata tumeuza sisi wote and we're left, without a country. So you have to. But I really don't like it. But the movie was good. It was made in a nice way. It's just that the fighting, of course, was there. I don't like it. And as I said, a lot more could have been done, to juice it up a little bit, or to clearly tell the story they were trying to tell. I feel like they didn't dive deep enough with that topic that they were trying to, get out. But anyway, it was still good. So yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. Go watch the movie, come back, tell me if you agree with me or if you do not in the comment section down below. And remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so that whenever I upload something new, you're going to be amongst the first people to come and listen. Okay, bye bye now.